Hi Gemini, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your week ahead reading. This is the 15th to the 21st of July 2019, guys. So for your weekly check-in reading, we look at the current self for the week and the theme of the week, to which we use my favourite deck at the moment, Tarot of the 78 Doors. My goodness, I can't say enough about this deck. You know, the whole reason that I do tarot is because it's not because I want to read cards traditionally. I'm not interested in that at all. I'm interested in the imagery. Obviously, the knowledge that I have of the card, you've got to have a grounding in knowledge of every one of those 78 cards. You haven't got a choice when you're a tarot reader. You do get a lot of tarot readers saying, oh, you don't need to do that, just memorize the... But bullshit, you do need a grounding. You need to read. It's important to read and carry on reading. But once you, it's like Bert Bacharach says, once you know the rules, then you can break them, right? This is a phenomenal deck because what it does is it challenges your thought and it challenges to look at the cards in a different way. So I just love this deck. Beautiful. We're going to use it for the first two parts. Then we look at the key goal, obstacle to overcome, a major accomplishment. This is a semi-new deck, about 4 or 5 months old. Mystic Monday's Tarot by Grace DeWong. Love it. Neo Tarot next. What to avoid, what to embrace, and where to find support for the week. Brilliant cards. Love them. And Spiritual Advice for the week by The Answer is Simple. Oracle cards by Sonia Choquette. Okay. 15 card reading afterwards is any other general stuff. Love and work and money. All right. Afterwards, I'll show you the cards that we'll use for that. Let's crack on with the reading then. Here we go. Gemini, you are showing as being... oh, I love this version of the Seven of Wands. It's the bricked up door. You're bashing down the door. Marvellous. Marvellous. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Fantastic card. This is... No, it's the Five of Wands, sorry. Not Seven of Wands. It reminds me of the Seven of Wands, though. You're the Five of Wands. I think that some of you guys, you know, the usual meaning of the Five of Wands, especially if you look at other decks like the Rider-Waite, where you've got these 5 kids all like fighting and clashing together like so. It's the card of conflict and clash of ideas and internalized anger and frustration and, you know, people fighting and not coming to any type of an agreement and all of that type of stuff. On this particular Five of Wands, I interpret it different because... But I suppose I could interpret it kind of as a offshoot of what the other cards mean. This card shows a man with a massive sledgehammer and he's about to kind of bash down that brick wall. So this is all about you guys bashing down a brick wall. I don't mean literally. I mean it's any wall that you find is blocking you from getting to where you want to go, Gemini, over the next few days. And, you know, obviously when I do these readings, they're very kind of, I guess in a way, I mean, I do love readings on my website, obviously, but a lot of the readings that I do tend to do for YouTube aren't really love infused. But this one might be, we don't know yet. But this Five of Wands here shows a man who's ready to kind of just take that wall down. And I feel that there is a wall up for some of you gems. And you're getting the sledgehammer. And the brilliant thing with you Geminis is you're like, well, I'm not going to take that. And I'm not going to sit back and wait for things to change. I'm going to take matters into my own hand. And I'm going to get the sledgehammer and I'm going to whack it down. I'm going to whack down that door, that brick wall that stands in my way of me getting, stands in the way, sorry, of me getting to the other side. So you guys want to go from one side or one part of your life to the other, but there is an obstacle standing in your way, which is the brick wall. So with the Five of Wands energy, I just feel that you guys are showing a real determination to force and to break down anything or anyone that is standing in your way. Now this is not easy because that brick wall may have been up for quite some time, but some of you guys are kind of like, and I wouldn't be surprised, it's probably not, but if the Seven of Swords is here, then possibly there's a strategy that you guys are looking at doing that. But there's definitely some form of an obstacle or a big, massive block that has stopped you guys from passing from one phase of your life into the other with the Five of Wands energy here. Now, the theme of the week for you guys is going to be, well, you got the Three of Pentacles, sorry, it's work. So this is work, okay? Now, on this card, it's one person. So this person is a very skilled tradesman, okay? So this is all about your skills. And this is all about creating a project, finishing a project. Because you can see here, what he's done is he's got the door, and he's done other doors as well. They're right behind. Can you see all of the different doors and stuff he's worked on? Well, he's just finishing another door. So the theme of the week is all about finishing a project. All right, you've got another project on. You've finished other projects, but you've got another one. But you guys are trying to get past an obstacle. All right, so this is to do with your work. And you guys are actually, with this Five of Wands energy, trying to get past an obstacle that allows you to finish this particular project. So this is something to do with work. And it looks to be like a really kind of very difficult project that you're kind of working on. Let's have a look at this card here. This is your key goal for the week. Hangman, is that meant to be reversed? Yeah, it is. Hangman reversed. That's your goal. Okay, that's interesting. The Hangman reverse is to do things your own way. All right. The Hangman reverse is, you know, is not to slow down, because in a way, with the Hanged Man in the upright, it's all about just letting go, letting God, and just letting things unfold as they should unfold. Can you see how she's just hanging upside down? And she's like that. She's like, oh well, you know, I'm kind of cool. I'm just going to sit back and, you know, if I need to dangle like this, it's all good. I'm just going to let things just unfold how they need to unfold. But in the reverse, it's kind of like, I can't let go. And I can't allow myself to sit back. So really this is, for me, when it's in its reverse state, Gemini, a card about control. And your key goal for the week is to control every stage of how this is done. With that Hanged Man energy showing there. You don't want anybody else interfering with this, because this is all about your own thoughts, your own belief systems, and how stubborn you are. Because the Hanged Man reverse is about being really stubborn and not listening to anyone else's advice, not allowing yourself just to relax into a situation. And in a way, the Hanged Man in the reverse is about not trusting too. Because in the upright, this card indicates themes about trust. You know, because it's all about letting go and letting God. So what else can you do when a situation turns up and you've just got to kind of sit back and just say, there for the grace of God go I, and I'm just going to trust that this is going to be okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to kind of just take it easy and let things unfold as they should do. In the reverse, the Hanged Man never does that. He's kind of like, well, no, it's got to get done, so I'm going to make sure it gets done. I'm not going to sit back and wait for things to happen, blah, blah, blah. He's always on the go when he's in the upright and he's in the reverse. So your key goal is to have control of this situation, I think, every single step of the way with that Hanged Man in the reverse. And also to do things your own way with very limited interference. What is the obstacle that you're going to need to overcome? Okay, Eight of Cups. Allowing depression to get to you with the Eight of Cups. Now, I love this version of the Eight of Cups, and I think I just read it for another sign before. Maybe about, I think you're the fourth sign in that I'm reading for today to put up on YouTube for the week ahead, Gens. But this Eight of Cups, right? So basically, you can see in front of this lady, there's 8 cups. They're perfectly stacked, 4 by 4. All right. Now, 4s usually represent stability in tarot, but this is 4 of Cups twice. And the 4 of Cups is all about discontentment and dissatisfaction. Now, usually when you get naked people on cards, they either represent exposure or vulnerability. And the article you're going to, and you can see where she's sitting, right? So this lady is sitting in a massive void. She's just in a void. And she looks like she's about to. She looks like she's looking across and she's thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to abandon this, and I'm just going to. Oh my God, I'm just going to jump down there. And I think what's going on here is that I'm going to explain this a different way to how I explained this card on another sign. I don't think that this is about kind of. I I think there's two things here that you need to avoid the obstacle of. And number one is to do with exposure, because your body, you're naked. So you need to avoid the obstacle of being exposed, and maybe your weaknesses being exposed. Maybe some of you guys really aren't Superman or Superwoman. Maybe getting this project done with very little interference and doing things completely your own way. Maybe this isn't completely achievable. And the obstacle that you need to avoid is possibly feeling that you are being exposed, or something is showing up about you that says Gemini is not Superman, Gemini is not Superwoman, and they can't always get it done like that. Maybe you have a really good record, maybe you are highly recognized for being very, very efficient, and maybe the obstacle you need to avoid is feeling vulnerable because you have this to do. So you need to avoid the obstacle of feeling vulnerable. All right. You also need to avoid the obstacle, I feel, of taking that vulnerability and just kind of abandoning the situation, because this looks like it could be full on duty to me, full duty. You know, this is hardcore shit. You guys are here trying to bash away at an obstacle this week, okay? Because the theme of the week is about getting a project fulfilled, getting it done. Your key goals are to get it done on your own with very limited interference, and, you know, on your own terms, with the Hanged Man in the reverse or Hanged Woman in the reverse. But you need to avoid the obstacle of the Eight of Cups, of feeling really alone and feeling really vulnerable and just wanting to kind of sink into the ground because of this. What is it? What are you accomplishing this week, though? Well, justice, which means, brilliantly, you guys should get this done. Because justice shows that if you put the work in, that's what you get out. Justice is the 11th law of the universe. Whatever you put in is what you get out. So the major accomplishment will be that you will succeed in this. But I guess you've just got to keep on going. What do you need to avoid this week? The devil. I knew that card. For some reason, when I was shuffling in that, I just thought about the devil card, and there it is. Enslaving yourself completely to the work. Because that's what the devil is, and I think this is a career reading. I think this is about work. And the devil, when it shows up in a work reading, is about being a slave to the grind. It's about having no time to go out and enjoy yourself. It's about not spending any time with friends whatsoever. All this card does is work. So you need to avoid being a slave to the grind. And also being a slave to what other people take it. But you're not, because that's your goal, to do this on your own terms and to have very little interference. So I don't think that you're a puppet. Even though the devil can represent being a puppet on the string. Can you see? He's in charge. Can you see that they're on a string? And he's the puppeteer. This is the engineer. The devil is the puppet master. And these are the puppets. So I don't think it's anything to do with puppetry. I think it's to do with being enslaved to getting the work done. Because the devil is ruled by Capricorn. Hardworking, tenacious, and completely focused. Ambitious. And you need to be... I think that you need to avoid being completely consumed by your work this week, and leave a little bit of time for family and friends. I know that you're determined to get something done, and this is probably consuming a lot of you guys this week, but you've got to leave a bit of time for family and friends. What do you need to embrace? The Five of Cups. That you could have some disappointment. There could be some disappointment. Somebody may be disappointed, because the Five of Cups is all about disappointment. And you can see the cups on here, and they're spilt milk. So there could be some disappointment. There could be some mistakes that are made. You're going to need to embrace that, you know, maybe this isn't going to be... I mean, you'll complete the project because you've got the accomplishment being justice. But there might be some small mistakes with the Five of Cups energy. And you just need to embrace that you're not infallible with the Five of Cups energy. You're going to need to embrace that you're not infallible. That you're not perfect. Okay, and that we all make mistakes. But the main thing is you get the job done. And if you need support, where can you find it? The Seven of Cups, you can find it. I just think you can find it by a barrage of people, several people. The sevens, when you get cards that are more than, you know, more than an ace, it means more than one. So there are several options, I think it's saying with the Seven of Cups. There are several ways, there are several places. You can even find support from the internet. Seven of Cups is things in the cloud. So this might be things that you've stored in your personal cloud, things like documentation, pictures, instructions, information on YouTube, for example, of how to get a job corrected or a job done. You know, information from books. It's anything that's, you know, your Kindle, that type of thing. It's anything that's on the cloud you can get your support from. And what's your spiritual advice for the week? Change the scenery. Let's have a quick read of that book. So we've got that as number 12. And number 12 says, your ego has narrowed your view. Which is probably why we've got this devil card. And it has. Because that's your ego card as well. The Hangman reverse for me is definitely a card about ego. This person lets their ego get in the way. They're like, no, I don't need your advice. I don't need any help from you. I can do it all myself. That's the Hangman in the reverse. He's really stubborn. Alright, that's your ego card as well. And the devil is like, what you need to avoid is, no, I'm going to get it done. No, I can't go out. No, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. No, I can't go for dinner. Blah, blah. I've got to get this done. It's all about the ego, because you guys, the obstacle you need to overcome is that you are, you know, you're just a human being. You are you know, you're just a human being. You're naked. You know, you have to overcome that you are a vulnerable individual, and that you are vulnerable to making mistakes, because that's what you need to embrace. But you guys are so determined to get something pitch perfect, 100%, that you feed into that ego, and it's all about, because I think for some of you guys, it's how you feel that you're going to be perceived. You'll get it done, but you go hell for leather with this. Sacrificing a lot this week to get something done, because in the eyes of whoever it is that you need to get it done for, it's really important that you appear this, this and this, which is fair enough. We all do that. But you don't allow any time to relax for some of you guys at all. And this card is basically saying, your ego has narrowed your view, and it looks as though you have few options. It's time to get back to spirit. Shake things up and free yourself by changing the scenery. Start by going outside, really going outside and taking a long walk. Exactly, avoid the devil. For example, a hike or even a trip. There's so much more life for you to enjoy, and your spirit is calling you back to the banquet. The ego lacks imagination and believes that there's nothing more than what you see in front of you. Exactly. A change of scenery will show you that as spirit, you have unlimited options. There you go. 7 of Cups. No, sorry. 7 of Cups is here. That's where you go for your support. It will also introduce you to new ideas, different people, and novel inspiration, all of which will reconnect you to those options. Don't allow your ego to resist or keep you chained in. There you go, the devil. Break free, get out, get about, and get a fresh perspective. Thank you. Amen. You're not doing the fresh perspective because it's in the upright. Reversed is the fresh perspective of the Hangman. That's doing things your own way and not listening to anybody else's advice, and not being willing to look at things from another perspective, to look at how things could be done differently. I appreciate and I respect that you want to, you know, break down an obstacle, get the work done, but you're afraid. Your obstacle that you need to overcome is that you're vulnerable, I think, with this 8 of Cups energy. But also it might be the obstacle that you need to overcome is just stripping something bare, because the lady is bare on here. And maybe looking at doing something in a different way. Maybe some of you guys have got a, you know, deadline or something like that. But the Hanged Man is, you know, in the reverse is your key goal. And it's to do everything your own way, without any interference or any kind of suggestion from anyone else, because of course you know best, Gemini. But the universe is saying, you know, avoid that devil. Avoid not only being chained to the work, but avoid being really dominant and kind of not allowing others to have their say and expecting everybody to kind of fall in line, you know. Support, 7 of Cups, options. There are plenty of options out there for support. One of them might be in the cloud. One of them might be a friend. Who knows? But, you know, think about it. For your 15 card reading, guys, we are using the Druidcraft Tarot deck. Philip and Stephanie Cargam, and Angels of Abundance, Doreen Virtue, and Grant Virtue for your spiritual advice. So, you got somebody around you, guys, haven't you? A King of Cups could be a Gemini, Gemini, what am I talking about? Could be a Scorpio, Pisces, Cancerian. This is a jolly nice dude. Doesn't have to be a water sign, but just could be a really nice, open, receptive individual. That can also be an offer. Any cards that you get, pentacles or cups held out like this, like it looks like they're offering, it's an offer or a proposal or a presentation. Let's have a look. Oh, and a King of Swords reversed. I think that this is, I don't think it's two people. I think that there's somebody here who appears to be one thing, but he tends to say another. He has all the appearance of goodness, but I feel that with the King of Swords being reversed, it's the words. The King of Swords reversed can be shallow, he can be nasty, he can be really critical with the King of Swords reversed. He can also tell a great deal of lies. He can be very indecisive when he's in the reverse. So though I feel that you've got a really, I don't know whether it's, I don't think he's a, I think it's the King of Cups. There's a person around you, a King of Cups, who seems to be really nice on the surface. But I think that it's either that this person is very indecisive with the King of Swords in the reverse, or the words that they say are not so nice. He's got two parts to him. There's somebody around you who has two sides to them. One appears emotionally wise. He's very open and very kind and very generous emotionally wise. But I feel that kind of vocally and verbally, he can be very cutting, very rude, and at times can also be very indecisive. You know, for example, you know, kings are rooted in earth, right? So a King of Swords would be earth of air. So King of Swords, ideas. Earth, what does earth do? Earth forms, right? So ideas are formed with the King of Swords, and what do kings do? They act these things out in the world. So this person has an idea, they've formed an idea, and they're going to put it out into the world. While the King of Swords in the reverse, he might form an idea, but he damn well doesn't act on it. So this person can also break promises. So I get the impression you've got somebody around you, but they tell lies, or, you know, they say things, but they don't back it up and they don't follow it up. They don't keep their promises. He could also be quite scathing and quite critical as well with the King of Swords in the reverse showing here. Six of Cups energy. Looking to the past, close relationship. But this person here, can you see how she's looking? I'm just going to look at her face. Can you see she's reminiscing? Look at her face. She's like looking at the kids. She's like, oh man, I remember that when I was younger. So it's almost like reminiscing you, but I think this is you, Gemini. You're reminiscing. I don't think the King of Swords reverse is you. This is a combination of who this person is here. You're reminiscing about the past. Six of Cups energy showing here. And you're feeling really sad about it with the Five of Cups. You're missing it. Because I think there's somebody around you here in the general energy that's changed. Gemini, I think there's somebody here who's really, really, really changed. I don't think that they are who they were. They've changed. Yeah, oh my God, look at all that. What do these cards say to you? Look, oh my goodness, this is not nice. You're reminiscing about the past, can you see? You're feeling really sad, like, oh, it's gone. I'll never get it back. And you're just dreaming, can you see? There's a lot of sadness in those cards, guys. Oh my God, look, I've not seen a combination like that before. But it all makes perfect sense when you see it, right? That's such a sad thing. There's somebody around you that's changed. And I feel that this becomes stronger this week coming in, Gems. I really do. Because this person who appears so nice, can you see the smile on his face? And he's got the cup out, so emotionally open and receptive and kind. He loves music. He's got a heart by his side. He's, you know, he likes sitting by the water. He's a really calm dude. He just seems really nice. But what's striking me actually on this King of Cups is how fat this guy is. Sorry. He's got a massive stomach, man. Can you see? Do you know what? There might be somebody who drinks. Getting the impression you've got around you is somebody who's a drinker, and when they drink and he's unhappy, I get the impression there's two things I'm kind of picking up on here. There's somebody around you who appears to be really nice, but the words that they say and the actions that they do, it's not so nice. They break promises. They criticize you. They're rude. They're inconsistent. You know, they're unkind with their word. They're very savage. The other thing I'm picking up on, we've got somebody around you who possibly drinks quite a bit as well. This person's probably put some weight on, and they're very inactive. And when they've had a bit of a drink, they can be really cruel. verbally, especially towards you, Gemini. And I feel that some of you guys are really sad about this, and you're thinking, oh my God, where did I go wrong? And this is you and this person in the past, and you're looking back and you say, oh man, I remember the past. I remember when we were so happy together. I remember when everything was so good and this person was so kind. They used to help me make sandcastles and stuff, and they used to be so supportive to me. And now, you know, Five of Cups, all of that's lost. It's all gone. It's all over, and I'm depressed and I really miss it. You know, I'm just daydreaming about, you know, what could be and whether there's anybody else out there for me. So I'm sorry, I do think that there's someone around you. This is possibly love for some of you gems that is a very changed individual from how they were before. We're going to have a look at the actual love reading here. Four of Coins. Now, Four of Coins in terms of a love reading can be about holding on to the past, but it can also be about somebody who is resistant and who tends to, this person can hide stuff, but this person can also be quite selfish, and they can be quite detached emotionally. Four of Coins energy showing here. Well, you've got the Two of Cups, holding on to a relationship. Somebody's holding on to a relationship here. The Nine of Coins, in which they feel very comfortable, financially especially comfortable. However, Ace of Swords not seen clearly. Ace of Swords reversed. The Queen of Coins. Insight is the Queen of Cups, sorry. They're not seeing clearly. There's insight here. So intuition, but not seeing things clearly. Ace of Swords reversed is a lack of insight. And it's funny that we have one card that's insight for the Queen of Cups. This is sensitive as well. Sensitive emotions. So it might actually be that, I feel that this is correlating with this energy here in these cards. I think this is all love in this reading here. And I do feel that for some of you guys, you've got a person around you, they're a drinker possibly, grown fat, older, a little bit unkempt. Don't look too unkempt, nice trousers on, nice shoes. But when they drink, they tend to say the worst things. But if they're not a drinker, then there's just someone around you who, with the King of Cups, if you look at him, he's sitting in a chair, he's got a drink, he's really comfortable. This might be somebody who's become really comfortable, King of Cups energy in their relationship, and now it's almost like with the King of Swords energy, they're really cruel. They don't put enough of an effort in. They make empty promises, that type of thing. And you guys are kind of like, oh man, I'm reminiscing about when we were really happy and close, and it's all gone. I miss those times, and I'm wondering, you know, if I can get them back or if there's anybody else around. But I feel that some of you guys, if you're feeling like this and if this kind of resonates with you, you're kind of holding on, Four of Coins energy, to a relationship with the Two of Cups. And even if this isn't you, some of you guys are still, I feel, holding on to a relationship, Two of Cups. It's either you or another person that's doing it because of the comfort. Nine of Coins means to be personally secure, especially financially, materially, food-wise, you know, nice warm house, nice garden. So somebody's holding on to the relationship for their own personal security. Nine of Coins energy showing here. Okay, not seeing the Ace of Swords in the reverse. Queen of Cups energy showing here. Insight, intuition. So it's almost like this person's not seeing what they need to really do, or this person's not paying attention to. The Ace of Swords reverses, there's no insight, no clarity. Somebody, what to me, you haven't got any clarity into what you need to do, into what your intuition is telling you, I think. Some of you guys also, the Ace of Swords reverse is sensitive, is cutting yourself off, because it's in the reverse, it's like this. It's cutting, it's separation. Some of you guys have been able to kind of cut away or cut yourself off from getting overly sensitive, maybe. Queen of Cups is sensitive. Okay, getting too emotional about it. Even though you're reminiscing about the past, you're upset and you're thinking, you know, am I going to have anyone else, or is this going to get better? I do feel that some of you guys are kind of cutting yourself off from getting too overly sensitive, which is why you hold on to a relationship for personal security reasons, or it will be the other way. Let's have a look at your money career, finally. Right, that's nice. Nine of Cups, wishes being fulfilled, feeling comfortable and content and satisfied. Things going well financially, probably work-wise. Seven of Swords, nice. So I think things are going really well, and some of you guys are strategizing and making plans to be even more successful. Seven of Swords energy. Six of Coins energy, getting more money, getting more customers. So if you run your own business, things may be going really well. Nine of Cups, you're feeling really satisfied and you're kind of working out a few plans, especially if you run your own business. How do I get more customers, or how do I make more money, with the Six of Coins energy showing here. However, there are worries with the Nine of Swords. Ace of Wands energy. So worries, I don't think this is anger, even though it's aspected by that Nine of Swords. I would say the Ace of Wands is about getting projects, new projects, Ace of Wands. Or you seem to be consumed by new ideas. Or I don't even think this is worry. I just think that you're consumed with the Nine of Swords energy about all of these new ideas, all of these new things. Because Ace of Wands is new, new projects, and you might be thinking, shit, how am I going to cope with all these new projects coming on? Or you might be a little bit worried about, but then again, it could be you're worried about how you generate this. Because remember, the Ace of Wands is all about the power being in your hands. You have the power to create. It's the wand. Remember the Magician's wand? So though I see you're feeling really satisfied in your careers, money, you're strategizing, Seven of Swords energy, writing down lists. How am I going to make more money? How am I going to get more customers? But you're worried about how am I going to, with this Ace of Wands energy, start, conjuring and bringing this to life with the Ace of Wands energy. Fantastic reading. I love doing Gemini. You're one of my favourite signs to read for. You really are. Thanks ever so much for your time, guys. I want you to have an absolutely fabulous week. I love you very, very much, as you know. And yeah, see you guys soon. Love you. Bye. Bye, darlings.